Attention! This is Commander Poe Dameron of the Republic Fleet. I have an urgent communique for General Hux.
Patch him through. This is General Hux of the First Order. The Republic is no more. Your fleet are rebel scum and war criminals. Tell your precious princess there will be no terms. There will be no surrender.
Hi, I'm holding for General Hux.
This is Hux. You and your friends are doomed. We will wipe your filth from the galaxy.
Okay, I'll hold.
Hello?
Hello? Yep, I'm still here.
Can he hear me?
The Last Jedi contains some of the greatest moments in Star Wars visuals, from the throne room fight to the hyperspace ram. But beneath the breathtaking visuals and ambitious cinematography lies a story that derailed a trilogy. Some movies are good and some movies are bad. And then there are the very, very few movies that are somehow both at the exact same time. Films that manage to be a genuine work of art and an undeniable narrative catastrophe all at once. The Last Jedi is one of those films. It's the movie that split the Star Wars fandom right down the middle. This movie has such a wide gap between the audience and critic scores that you could fly a Star Destroyer right through it. And yet, it's also a film that is without question a visual masterpiece. But why is it also the most divisive and arguably the most narratively broken entry in the entire saga? That's what we're going to talk about today. Before we get into the disaster, we have to talk about the beauty. Because denying the artistry of The Last Jedi is just being willfully blind, or you basically just being a hater. Now, I'm not a fan of the direction that Ryan decided to take this film after what JJ laid down, but they crafted a string of breathtaking images that would be studied in film school for decades. The film was even nominated for an Academy Award for its visual effects, which should tell you a lot that it was technically a masterpiece. And we're not just talking about good CGI, it's a deep understanding of visual language. Take the use of colors. The blood red of Snoke's throne room creates a violent backdrop of one of the most shocking moments in the entire saga. That same red gets a stunning echo through the climax of the planet Crate. What looks like a snowy wasteland is actually a salt flat, and underneath it is a crimson soil that kicks up into blood red. With every footstep, every blaster shot, it's not just a cool visual, it's a theme. The resistance is wounded and bleeding out, making it the last stand in a world that literally bleeds right from beneath them. Then you have these moments of pure cinematic poetry. The Holdo maneuver and her final act of sacrifice points the ship at the First Order and jumps to light speed. And for a second, all the sound cuts out. It's dramatic. The universe holds its breath. It's abstract art in the middle of a space opera. And even smaller shots are composed with an artist's eye. Luke Skywalker facing down the entire First Order on Crate. One tiny figure against an army of giant walkers. Rey and Kylo Ren connecting across the galaxy as the background to their two different very worlds dissolve and blend into one. The throne room fight is a masterclass in action. A swirling dance of red and black, light and dark. I remember the first time I saw it, I walked out of the theater visually stunned and yet narratively disappointed. But a film is more than just pretty pictures. And for all its painterly composition, the story holding it all together feels fundamentally fractured. I wanted to love it. I loved episode 7, but the narrative choices in this film aren't just controversial. They often feel like they're actively fighting against each other, creating a disaster in 3 parts. The biggest problem was the treatment of Luke Skywalker. When we left him on Return of the Jedi, he was a hero who redeemed his father and refused to give in to the hate. And when we meet him again 30 years later, he was a bitter old hermit and wants nothing to do with the galaxy that needs to be saved. The reason? He had a thought in his head about murdering his nephew, Ben Solo, in his sleep because he sensed the dark side. This moment of weakness is what supposedly pushed Ben over the edge and creates Kylo Ren. And once again, in Star Wars, there's character assassination. The Luke who threw down his lightsaber rather than kill his own father, even when provoked by the Emperor, wouldn't do it. But this is the same guy who's willing to kill his nephew in his sleep? Like, come on. The film tries to sell us on a complex, humanizing moment, arguing that even legends can fail. But it does so by contradicting every core of what made Luke a hero in the first place. His final act, of force projection across the galaxy to face Kylo, is a visual spectacle. It fooled even me, but it feels like a last-minute course correction for a character that they derailed for 2 hours. It's a beautiful moment that only exists because of one terrible decision. While Rey is on the island with grumpy old Luke, the rest of the movie is stuck in a subplot that just kind of grinds the whole plot into a halt. I mean, part of it was just like a slow speed chase with the resistance being low on fuel. I mean, I'm not kidding, that's like literally like the plot of this whole movie. They're low on fuel. They just can't stay out of range of the First Order. It's literally just 2 groups of ships flying in a single file line. To break this stalemate, we get the film's most infamous section and the most pointless section if you ask me, the Canto Bight subplot. Finn and his new character Rose, who nobody asked for, go to the casino to find a master code breaker. And we just get this whole bizarre like detour into the galactic 1%. And they just like spending money and just horse racing and things like that. It was pointless. The mission was a total failure. They found the wrong guy. He betrays buries them. The action actually makes things even worse because it's pointless. It's a pointless quest in the middle of a film that already has a terrible plot in the beginning. One ship chasing another ship and then running out of fuel. It was a journey to nowhere. Another terrible decision in this film is just the death of Supreme Leader Snoke. Like, he was this mysterious figure in episode 7, and you get a little bit more of him in episode 8. We thought we were getting in trilogy's new big bad, this mysterious and powerful figure. Then just halfway through the movie, Kylo Ren just kind of just cuts him in half. It was shocking, for sure, but it leaves a giant hole in the whole story. Like, we learned nothing about who he was, where he came from, how he came to power. The main villain's just tossed in the trash. I don't know his backstory. Is he Sith? Is he not Sith? Why does he have on this glittery gold jacket? I got questions. And then also, even more controversial was, who is Rey's parents? After years of theories, is she a Skywalker? Is she a Kenobi? And the answer was,
you come from nothing. You're nothing.
the main hero in the new sequel trilogy is nobody. Yeah, thanks for that. Just junk traders.
Who sold you off for drinking money?
Now, I will say this. The intention was noble. They're basically saying that you don't need to be of special bloodline to be a hero. And that's a powerful message to send to people. But in the context of the saga, it felt like we got cheated. The Force Awakens had deliberately built her up as this huge mystery, only to have the answer be like, oh, it doesn't matter. But this is where we have to connect the two sides. The beauty and the disaster aren't separate. They're completely intertwined. The stunning visuals are often used to cover up the massive cracks in the story. Think back to the Holdo maneuver. Visually, one of the greatest moments in Star Wars history. Narratively, it raises 1,000 questions. If light speed can be weaponized like that, why has nobody ever done it before? Why not use the droids to do it all this time so that you don't kill the people? Or look at Luke's final stand, an inspiring moment where he becomes one with the Force. But it's a moment that is only necessary because the film had to just tear him down in the first place. The beauty of the solution depends entirely on the disaster of the setup. This is the central paradox of The Last Jedi. Its most memorable moments are also its most problematic. It's a film at war with itself, a struggle between a director with an incredible eye and a script that seems to kind of undermine everything, tearing down the very foundation that it's standing on. The result is an experience that is breathtaking to watch but deeply frustrating to think about. So how can a film be a masterpiece and a failure at the same time? Well, in this case, The Last Jedi is the answer to that. But now I want to hear what you think. Let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.
Where are you from?
Nowhere.
No one's from nowhere.
Jakku.
All right, that is pretty much nowhere.